O'Dowd's texture powder versus Shear Revival's texture powder. This is brand battle. Hello, hi, how are you? I'm Robin, welcome back to Brand Battle, the series that sees me take two very similar products and battle them out in order to find the best one. Now, these are texture powders, products that should be giving our hair volume, movement, definition. There are loads of these sort of powders out in the market now. They've become a real thing really over the past like 2-3 years. I remember when I started this channel in almost 10 years ago, powders weren't a thing. Now they're absolutely everywhere. And these brands have created powders that are texture powders, also dry shampoos, and in the case of Shear Revival, they've also said you can make a face mask out of this. Now, if you are new to Brand Battle, you're new to this channel, then please do press subscribe right now. This channel is for hair product reviews, grooming, skincare, fragrance, loads of that good stuff, and leave a comment down below. Now, I am going to be working through various categories right down here to really compare these products and see what they do and how they do it. Now, you might be watching thinking, I care more about one certain thing, so we'll get to that. It means that by the end of this, you really can make your own decision. Now, every week on Brand Battle, I have a competition that lasts just a week. So you have to enter it as soon as this goes up. The winner from last week, I will put down below in the description. Congratulations, I will get you everything out as soon as possible. Okay, looking at packaging and brand for both. These are both American brands. I actually have met with the guys from Shear Revival. This will not change anything. I am always 100% unfiltered. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, you're gonna know about it. But they are based in New Jersey, and then we've got O'Dowd's who have their lab in Texas, Houston. So they are both, I would say, like a really good sort of playing field for comparing these guys. Very much people who have had this sort of passion project that's then created a business. I love it. It's like how it should be. Artisans who've just created amazing products. O'Dowd's very much pride themselves on being for sensible humans and all about being sustainable, really deriving a lot of the ingredients from plants. Shear Revival do exactly the same, creating these products that are clean, cruelty-free, free from chemicals that just aren't needed. Now, when we are looking at the packaging, we've got this box for O'Dowd's with the bottle. I'm gonna chuck your little box there. Really quite similar. Really nice clean brand. I like the way it looks. Shear Revival, slightly sort of cooler. They've got more of an edge. They had a bit of a rebrand actually last year. I really like it. My thing really for O'Dowd's is, was that box needed? I think we're thinking sustainable. We're thinking this whole sort of like cutting down on crap. I'm not sure that box was needed, but I do like both the brands. So I'm gonna give 1 point to O'Dowd's and 1 point to Shear Revival. Into ingredients, they really are both quite similar. We've got kaolin, we've got bentonite in here too. Kaolin and bentonite types of clays. Now, clays are really good for adding volume. They're gonna add a little bit of gritty texture. Also, clays help to soak up any excess oil. So that's why these can be both used as a dry shampoo. So you're gonna get that texture, but also that drying mattifying effect. They also both have arrowroot. What else we have in here? Shave grass, labdanum, lavender oil. So loads of like really gorgeous smelling oils and bits that are really gonna help to add that texture, but also give the hair a bit of hydration, so without drying it. Same with Shear Revival. Really, really great ingredients on this. I know that when I visited them, I was in New York, I popped across New Jersey and I said, hey, can I pop in? I loved what they're doing, you know, all these things just like mixing and just really being very agile in what they can do. And that's why I like these sort of brands. You know, they're not huge corporations. They are brands that can just experiment and explore. And I think that's really very exciting. So for ingredients, I'm gonna give 1 point to each. Into smell, are you really gonna be popping your nose into this? I know that when I was filming this, it started to look a little Dodge. It started to look a little 1990s nightclub in a toilet. So I'd advise not sticking your beak into these, but they do have a scent. So this category is for 1 point. This one smells, this one being the O'Dowd, smells quite woody. There's a bit of cedar wood in there. I like that scent. It's comforting, it's familiar, it's gorgeous. And then the Shear Revival one is slightly brighter. It's a brighter, livelier, more energetic scent with a touch of citrus. I like them both. They're both inoffensive and they're kind of just the right amount of scent. So I'm gonna give 1 point to each. Consistency and application. Now they're both there in these bottles with a sort of like shaker effect, which makes it fairly easy. Get it out onto your hands and then work in. You can also just sprinkle it straight into the roots if you want to go down some sort of TikTok, da-da-da, tap it in, da-da-da, but use your hands. Seriously, get it in and work it. There is quite a difference actually in the consistency of these. The O'Dowd's is thicker, it's more coarse, which makes it, I would say, slightly harder to direct into the hair, whereas the Shear Revival is smoother, which means you can really work that in and it works faster. So I would say I would give 1 point to O'Dowd's and 2 points to Shear Revival. Now these both do a really great job at mattifying, so really doing that sort of dry shampoo effect. But for the styling, I'm looking for texture, I'm looking for movement, I'm looking maybe for a light hold, which we'll see a bit later. With the O'Dowd's, it was really responsive. You know, if you want your hair to go up, it's going to go up. If you want to go down, it's going to go down. Give your hands a little shake through the hair. And it's like It from the Addams Family. Ooh. You can really start to get that texture, the definition, the movement. Shear Revival, exactly the same. Movement, grit, grip. And I really, really like it. There is a slight difference in this. And when I've been using these, I've really kind of been thinking, what am I feeling here? How is it going? I would say Shear Revival seems to have slightly more clay in it. And with more clay, we've got more grip. And it is slightly more responsive. So I'm going to give 2 points to O'Dowd's and 3 points to Shear Revival. For finish, this really is like, I think, one of the most important categories. You know, how does your hair look? And you've been spending time to do it. You want it to look great. So we've got a possible 5 points in this one. Now, what's different with these powders than the kind of ones that you might get in a Superdrug or a Boots? Those ones are really created using something called silica silicate. Silica silicate? Essentially this one ingredient that really does kind of dry the hair and pull out a lot of that excess oil, so it's giving you mattifying. But in also doing this, it's giving this all this gritty texture. So with those more like sort of £2–3 pound things, I mean, some of them can be really quite cheap. They do give loads of movement, but they can start to feel a bit stiff. These ones don't do that. And actually, with the finish, you've got a bit of movement, but it's still malleable and it still looks fairly natural. So if you're wanting that stiff Instagram barber hair, then these aren't for you. Go with some of the other ones, and I can give you some suggestions down below. But I like these, and for that more natural look, they're great. I would say though, again, I think because we've got more texture and movement with the Shear Revival, and it is slightly more grippy with the clay, I'm gonna give 3 points to O'Dowd's and 4 points to Shear Revival. Okay, hold. How do these last? Up first, it's O'Dowd's. A good bit of texture and movement. Oof, hello. Not like huge on definition, but it's still giving that dry, sort of mattifying dry shampoo, and just a bit of movement there. So for a day, the hold has been kind of okay-ish. It's been good for sort of like mattifying the hair, but yeah. And onto Shear Revival. This is good. This is like a dry shampoo texture powder, as I said, all in one. When you put it in, it's like, feels like it's kind of just drying out any grease if you have that for like second day hair. Oh, hello. It's been a fully jam-packed day for me today, and this is good. Like, this is a real sort of, I think that whole sort of universal product of the dry shampoo and the sort of texture powder is like a really good combination. And actually, it's still got this very matte finish to it, and it can still be moved. I have been in the wind today. I went for a drive. I've been super busy, and it's just done really quite well. I think especially if you've got really short hair, then actually a bit of this will just give it all this really great texture. So they both do okay. I'm not going to be expecting a massive amount of hold in these. I would tend to use these maybe as a little bit of a pre-styler, or mix in with something like a clay, might be a bit clay overload, clay, cream, just to add a bit of texture. But actually for that sort of down hair day, they didn't do badly at all. O'Dowd certainly has a sort of a lighter hold, whereas the Shear Revival just, again, it's all about that grip. It's got more grip, so it's got more hold. So for hold, I'm gonna give 1 point, which feels a little harsh, but for a powder, I don't think too bad. 1 point to O'Dowd's and 2 points to Shear Revival. Now, washability, unsurprising. Actually, these come out pretty well. With some of those more commercial powders that I was talking about before, they are a bitch. They will not come out and your hair feels like it's tugging. It feels like you're just not going to end very well. But these are good. They slip in and slide out exactly how we like it. So I'm going to give a very respectable 2 points each. Price and value always comes down to you. What do you see as value? You know, how much you prepared to spend on something? How much does it cost for it to be sent to you, wherever you are? I always update the prices on manfromself.com, my website, with loads of reviews. You guys can also leave your own reviews there to help everyone out, so please do that. Also, I will have an update on that site very, very soon. Really exciting stuff I'm working on. So sign up to my free newsletter to get all the latest. Okay, so these are roughly about £20 each, which for a powder feels a little like, are we getting into slightly too expensive territory? But they are multi-use. You know, I spoke about the dry shampoo, the texture powder, and also this one, add a little bit of water and you've got a face mask. So we've got 4 ounces, 114 grams. I'm pretty sure the same on this. Yeah, 3.4 ounces on this one. So slightly, are you slightly smaller? I think you look the same size, but that's what we're saying. 3.4 ounces and 4 ounces. They are roughly about £20 each, but I'm okay with that because these are, you know, smaller brands, artisan brands who are really creating fantastic products. I'm very happy to give my cash there. So I'm gonna give 2 points each. So there you go. I think a very respectable point system. Points for each. 14 points for O'Dowd, love you O'Dowd, love what you're doing, loving your work. And 18 points for Shear Revival. The difference in this was the grip, the grit, and the texture. And I certainly think you get just slight, like I'm really like splitting hairs on this, but I do think you get just slightly more from the Shear Revival. It feels slightly like tackier, I think, with the clay, but this is still good. You know, if someone was like, you can only use one powder, this is it, I'd be like, cool. I'm down for that, don't worry about it. But if it was between the two of them, I do like the Shear Revival. So there you go. And this is our master leaderboard from the battles before. So you can see out of the 21 where they all fit in. Obviously different products have a different sort of point score, but this will give you an idea. Please do press subscribe if you've not yet pressed subscribe. Seriously, come on, it's Brand Battle, press subscribe. Also enter that competition, all details in the description, some really great products and prizes coming up, and the final one will be this bumper one. And I'll put the other Brand Battles in the cards up there. But until my next new video, bye-bye.